Hello, beautiful people. This is Michelle Phillips with a really impromptu video. I've literally been taking down my Christmas decorations all day, but in the last 24 hours, 3 people have reached out to me that are going through things in their life. So I want to just revisit some coping skills for when you're doing the work, right? All 3 of these people are doing the work, right? They've been working on themselves, they're working on their mindset, they're working on being more optimistic and positive, and then they're like, heck, how did I attract this, right? And just because you're working on yourself doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges. The difference is you are able to overcome the challenges and deal with them quicker. So if a challenge arises in your life, don't beat yourself up for the challenge. Just say, okay, how am I going to deal with this, right? The universe knows the desires of your heart. And sometimes what looks like a challenge is just a redirection, right? It's a detour because it knows that you're going down the wrong path or that there's a better path for you. And the universe will blow up your life if you're really asking in a strong way for something new. So we think just because we're asking for something fabulous that it's all going to be neat and tidy, but sometimes shit hits the fan, right? So number 1, don't beat yourself up. If beating yourself up worked, you'd already be wealthy, married to your dream lover, living in your dream house, and living happily ever after. So number 1, if the carpet gets pulled out from under you, don't beat yourself up. Number 2, feel your feelings. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to acknowledge your feelings. However, number 3, realize your feelings stem from the meaning you assign to the event. So if you are going through a relationship breakup, if you lost your job, if you lost a loved one, if somebody deceived you, you could say, oh my gosh, how did they do this to me? Why is this happening to me? What's wrong with me? Or you could say, this is a redirection. Life is full of challenges and my work is to manage the challenges. And while this doesn't make it any more fun right now, I will weather this. I've weathered worse in the past. So number 1, don't beat yourself up. Number 2, feel your feelings. Number 3, realize your feelings come from your thoughts and the meaning you assign events. So if you're feeling really poorly and you've spent some time feeling your feelings and crying and screaming and yelling and letting it out, and you're still feeling really awful, then it's like, what's a new way to look at this? And sometimes I just pray, please show me a new way to look at this. Show me a new way to look at this. And I promise you, if you ask the right question, you will get the answer. If you say, why am I such a loser? Why do these things happen to me? You will get that answer too, because your brain works like Google, right? If you type in, why am I so stupid? It'll answer you. But if you type in, show me what I'm learning, how can I get through this? Your brain answers you that too. So I also want to share with you one of my journals, because sometimes when something negative, perceived negative happens in our life and we start to beat ourselves up, we plug into some old tapes from our childhood. Tapes that maybe served us when we were 14, but they don't serve us anymore. This past September, I drew this in my journal. It's like an old cassette tape, and I wrote the old tapes farewell tour 2022, because even old tapes resurface in my life all the time, but I want you to recognize them as old tapes, right? This is an old belief that's believing this is causing me to think this, is causing me to feel this, and I don't like this feeling. So you process it. I wrote down the old tape and I wrote, and the hits keep coming, right? Because this is growth. This is what happens. I wrote down the drama I was experiencing in my body, the turmoil, and then I wrote down what are the opportunities for me to learn and to process. And I went through the processing of this in my journal. So again, it's not about, you can't sometimes, the events happen, your feelings happen, but what you think and believe about them, that's where you have control. So, and then you get to create a new tape, lay new track, right? So number 1, don't beat yourself up. Number 2, feel your feelings. Number 3, realize that your feelings are coming from your beliefs and your thoughts, and you can reprogram them, right? You can take the old tapes, and in the picture, I don't know if you notice, I imagine a cassette tape, and I imagine pulling the tape out, right? Because once you pulled that tape out of the old cassette, it doesn't work anymore. So that was my picture. And then lay new track, lay new tape, set something new for yourself. Pull out a book that helped you in the past that you need to reread again. Whatever you do, love yourself. And just know that you never go back to ground zero, right? You're doing the work, you're doing the work, you're doing the work, and then, man, a tree falls in your path. A rug gets ripped out from under you. You slide back, but you never, ever go back to where you first began. You're always like progressing, slide back, progressing, slide back, progressing, slide back, progressing, slide back. So give yourself credit for all you have, all the work you have done, the fact that you are progressing, and that you are such a different person than you were last January. You have grown so much and you have learned so much, because especially these 3 people that reached out to me, I know their hearts, I know they're doing the work, and I know that you're going in the right direction. And that's what I'm going to end this video. Sometimes it doesn't matter where you are in this moment, but it matters if you're going in the right direction. When you start focusing too much in the past, too much on the past, then that's when you start getting in the cycle. Right? So feel it, recognize it as an old tape, pull the tape out, lay some new track, read something, watch a movie that makes you feel good, phone a friend that makes you feel good, listen to a playlist that makes you feel good, and know that you are a magnificent, beautiful human being, and that you can be, do, or have what you want, and that you, I promise you, are moving in the right direction. Nobody said life was going to be easy or perfect or, but I promise you, if you keep to your focus and you maybe get derailed for a little while and you get back on track, you will figure this out. I believe in you.